Good morning. This is Pamela from the Southern Soil Sisters here in Central Texas, Zone 8B. Today I want to bring you along on my garden walk. I want to show you what I do and why I do it, why I videotape and take photos of my garden walk. Um, as you see today, I'm going to start from the front to the back, and I'm going to go through um, all of the areas. I'm going to point out my successes. I'm going to point out some challenge areas and tell you how I use my Remarkable uh, to to help me plan for the entire week. I use my Remarkable to help me kind of navigate through the whole week and keep track, keep progress. It's a little bit windy out here this morning, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to start at the very front with the beautiful magnolia tree. This is like my favorite tree. And as you see, I have underplanted um, some annuals here, some sweet potato vine. I have a rose, a David Austin rose bush, Elizabeth, and some irises. But one of the key things is when I'm going through, I'm looking for anything that stands out, and I don't really see anything. That's just what you're seeing here is just regular maintenance. What you're seeing on this side under my red bud my red bud tree is grass. You know, if you live in Texas, you know that the grass is it's gonna happen. So I just need to do some maintenance here, and I have a plan that I'm gonna try for this area. So then we're gonna move over to, as you see, I have a crepe myrtle. It is a black diamond crepe myrtle, and I absolutely love this. This is so beautiful to me. And as we come back down into the yard, you'll see that I have planted a cedar back here, and I'm hoping that it gets really big. It seems to be doing pretty good. I see a lot of new growth on it. Um, it's probably about 9 feet. I got that from my local Lowe's. They called me because I'm a regular. So we're here on this is my front area, and I kind of call this my front side. Um, I see the little creatures. I call this my little front side porch. I have a rose of Sharon here, and it is doing beautifully. A lot of new growth on this. Planted this last year. And another David Austin. This is the Generous Gardener, and my intent for this area is for this area to grow up. This area to grow up and kind of cover all the hardware that you see here from our solar panels. So I have a generous garden here from David Austin, and inside of here I have some clematis. I think I have two of them planted, and of course I have grass. But I have some ideas for this area. I'm thinking that I'm going to add some more lamb's ear over here in this area and around here on this side. And I have a peonies here, and it seems to be doing fine, growing. And I have 3 hydrangeas here. The lamb's ear is doing its job and doing some shade protection from the afternoon sun. And here I recently planted some lavender. We're going to see if it can make it. And I believe this is a gardenia here. I don't believe it is. It's a gardenia. Um, and I have some echinacea. Looks like I have some powdery mildew going on. So that's some maintenance that needs to be taken care of. That's just normal. Um, Coneflowers, you will see the echinacea, they get it. You just trim it back and they grow. And if you take a look, they're still growing. They hadn't stopped. But we want to take care of that. The sweet alyssum, I planted this from seed, and I didn't have this many, but it has really taken off. And this is one of the things I am going to plant next year. I'm going to replant this next year. I really love this. It gives us such a soft, it brings a softness to the bed. And this is a black smoke bush. I love that. I love it. And as you see, it has a shoot that has just gone up, and I have a David Austin rose bush here. I love my roses. And this is the whiteout super Bina from Proven Winners. And I have my irises. Now with these, I believe during the fall, I am going to, see my little friend there? My little garden friend. Look at it. I am going to kind of separate these. This area is too small for those irises. And like I said, I need to do some deadheading here on my butterfly bush. Now, here's a better look at my front porch. I didn't realize that everything was going to grow like this. So my thoughts, and you can tell me what your thoughts are too. Do you think that I should decrease the number of containers that I have in this area? Because I think it's a little crowded here. So let me know. That container back there is going to go in storage. It actually doesn't belong here. And so with my lamb's ear, and I know everybody, you see they're really big. I'm actually going to use the lamb's ear in a project. And when I've gone through my Remarkable at the end of the week, I annotate those type of things that need to be moved to another location. I'm going to let it grow out this year because I need a lot of the lamb's ear. So that's my thought process there. My rose bushes, I really have to keep them trimmed back because I have them, there's 3 bushes here, and they're called top cream rose bushes, and they smell amazing. Oh my God, they smell amazing. You can actually smell these when you walk by. So I do trim them down even now, just trying to keep them maintained. But my success in my garden is, and I know it doesn't look like a success right now because it kind of needs to be deadheaded, but my success are my David Austin rose trees that my husband purchased as a gift for our anniversary to me. And they're my success because they came to me bare root. I had never planted bare root before, and they have just really taken off. So much so that this one over here has a visitor, has a bird's nest in it. One of the things I decided to do this year, don't judge me, is I actually planted watermelon in this bed. Because the Vina is growing up so big. I planted some black diamond watermelon in this bed. You're gonna see what happens, how it works. I can, as you can see back here on this back row right in there, if you get up really close, you can see the watermelon. It's growing. The vines are growing. I have one over here. Yep. So I'm going to try it and see what works, because my next intent is to plant for the fall in my bed, in this particular bed, is to plant um, pumpkin, some white pumpkin in this bed, and I think that would really look beautiful. Now, I know that you see a lot of space here, so when I'm taking notes, when I'm saying how much space do I have? Do I have enough space to put various plants that I may have growing in pots in the back? So that's what I'm looking for. And that's kind of what I did right here with this hydrangea. This hydrangea actually came from my side yard, and I brought it up here as a test to see if it was going to survive the heat. I see some yellowing. That's just watering when I have watered it with the hose. My intent is to, if it does well here, to plant it here next to this area, because this area right now gets morning sun, afternoon, and as we start to go towards the 1 to 2 o'clock, it's being shaded by the evergreen here and the rose tree and the other things in this bed. So my intent is to be able to plant it right there in that spot, but I want to give it a try before I plant it. And it seems to be doing really well. It's been here now for probably about 3 weeks. So my first success is my rose tree. And if you take a look really close at it, you'll see all the buds. It just needs to be deadheaded. That's just maintenance. Now here is my side yard. This is an area that I created. I carved it out last year. It is by no means complete. It is a start. It is a start. I still have to, I'm going to make this area a little bigger, but that's okay. My biggest success this week is the reed screen that you see right here. So in monitoring the status of my hydrangeas, because as you know, my intent is to call this my hydrangea room, my side yard. So I planted the ruby slippers here, and they were being fried. And I have a couple other areas. So I had to figure out a way that I could protect them from the sun, but the fence was giving off a lot of heat. So my husband put up a reed screen here. The reed screen is kind of helping shield some of the heat from the fence. The other thing that I did is I planted this canna lily here, and it's actually doing really well. I probably need to come over here and clean this up, do some deadheading with this, but what it's doing is shielding it from the sun that's probably coming at 11 to 12 o'clock so that it's not getting hit. And as you can see, I have gorgeous blooms on my ruby slippers. The other thing that I did is I planted some shrubs here, thinking that it wasn't going to get as big as the hydrangeas weren't going to get as big. And then I was going to try to put some purple fountain grass behind it to help shield it from the sun, but the reed screen worked actually much better than that. So I'm going to relocate this. I'm going to relocate the purple fountain grass over to the side. And instead, what I put in front of the shrubs was some salvia. So what the salvia is also doing some filtered sun to it as well. And I need to come and deadhead those. It's just regular maintenance. So I know that this is regular maintenance, and I'll use this video. And I need to take a look and see about my evergreen that I was going to put here. But really what is so encouraging here is the other hydrangea that I have. Look at that bloom on this. This is my first year in the Texas heat. And I am just so happy. I am so happy. You see, I need to clean the fence line with the shrub. I share a lot with the city, and it's kind of difficult. But this is just beautiful. Look at this hydrangea. It is just growing. It's blooming. I see all the new growth on it. It's getting nice and big. It's sitting next to some Gara that I planted from seed, which is doing very well. I guess I'm feeding the shrub next door too. And this is a tricolor ginger that's next to it, and it's doing really great too. It's doing really great. And my other hydrangeas down here, as you see, they are burning. They are burning as well. So I'm trying to, this one is doing really well. And my intent is for this crepe myrtle here to shield it from a lot more sun. So it seems to be, the phlox seems to be doing some filtered sun as well. So hopefully I'm gonna keep these here and see what happens. Now, my container area here. Now this side, I have hydrangeas up that way. I think those are the little lime that I planted from my backyard. I had them last year, and I relocated them here to the side. Now, this is my test area that needs to be reconfigured. The test area is, number one, I'm trying to make sure that I can grow them here in Central Texas, and it seems everything is fine. This one is I think that's another ruby slipper here, and it's doing great. It's budding. I have some elephant ears, and I have another canna lily. And what my intent is for the canna lily to help protect it from the sun, and this air conditioning unit, which you can hear, is to protect it from the afternoon sun, which everything seems to be doing just fine. I have another hydrangea here, and it is growing. I have one here that is just doing so beautiful. And this is one that my husband bought last year that I didn't think was going to make it, and it is doing amazing. It's doing just fine. So now I just need to clean this area up, reconfigure it, get some more sunlight on a couple other hydrangeas, but everything seems to be doing great. It's a success, but it's a challenge. This area needs to be cleaned. Some deadheading needs to take place, and It looks amazing. Now, my challenge. So this week, my major challenge is to work on my raised bed area. This is where I grow my fruits and vegetables. And this year I grew a lot of odd plants here in this area, just trying to see if it would grow. As you see, the dahlia, everything needs to be cut back. The Texas heat is not for the weak. So what I'm going to do this week is just go through here. I had tomatoes. As you see, I've already actually started working out here. I had tomatoes out here. Everything is, yeah. So my challenge is to cut down. These marigolds have taken over the yard. Marigolds have taken over the bed, the raised bed, but I still have some things in here, like okra that I planted. I have some okra in here. I should have some peppers, which the peppers seem to be doing pretty good. And I see a sweet potato vine in here. It really just kind of gets too hot for me to be out here. And this is the second bed. Yeah, it gets really too hot. And I have sweet potato vines down here. So that is a challenge. I do have garden help, good people. As I told you, I do suffer from lupus, so I do have garden help that helps out with a lot of the garden tasks. I have dahlias on this side. That dill, I didn't think I could grow dill, but isn't that beautiful? This would be great in a cut flower arrangement. Yeah. This just needs to be deadheaded and watered. I haven't been out here. I cut the flowers off here. And I have 2 rose bushes over here that are just doing amazingly. Oh, look at those peppers. Those peppers are gorgeous. And the marigolds, they are beautiful. And I even have some African marigolds here too. And another type of marigold. I think this is the Mexican marigold. And then I grew some dahlias. I do need to get over here. So I will be in this raised bed all week. This will be my main focus, and getting all of this cleared up and clean. Okay, so now we're in, and it's a little bit later in the day, and I'm sitting down watching TV or in the bed, and I have a Remarkable. Now, I've had this Remarkable for some years now. Can't really recall how many years, but it's probably been over 3 years. And I used to use it on a regular, but I love to write. I love to write, and I love to plan, and I love to organize. So I use my Remarkable to help me plan what I need to do for my garden. As you saw in the last part of the video, I do have garden help. And I do work a full-time job, so I can't remember everything. And I normally don't start working on my garden until 7 o'clock at night because it's just too hot. About 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. On the weekends, I start around 7, and I'm only out there for probably about 2.5 hours at the max. That is when I have my garden help. So I have a Sunday, and I can actually just write on the Remarkable. I have a pen that I use, and I write all the details in. Now, with the Remarkable, you can actually change it from written to text, to actually typewritten. But I enjoy writing, actually writing on paper. So this was a really big help for me. So one of the templates that I have that I created is called my Sunday Garden Walk. And what I've done is I printed it out on this paper. The reason I have it on the Remarkable, because I can go back through and any notes that I have, that I made, I can go back through and move those notes to one of my other templates that I have, because I have a lot of templates on here that I just use for various things. So for my Sunday Garden Walk, I have it here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have it broken down by the zones in my yard: the front yard, the hydrangea room, the raised beds, containers and porch, and the fence line project, or any projects that I have. So the first thing that I have written down here is a success in my front yard, maintenance throughout. So basically my front yard needs a lot of maintenance. So probably what I'll do is the maintenance I'll take care of on Saturday. Then I have the raised bed area. The raised bed area needs cleanup immediately. So that means that that's what I'm going to focus on this week, is the cleanup. The other success that I had was my reed screen, and I'm not seeing any sun stress. I made sure that I'm noting that I haven't seen any more sun stress on those hydrangeas. The containers, serious cutback and planning for the fall. Now I have 3 container areas that I concern myself with: the front porch, the raised bed area, and my hydrangea room. The planning for the fall really that I'm working on now is reference my raised bed area. I'm actually going to do something a little different with that this year. So I have some plans for that. And I actually wrote that out probably about 2 weeks ago. Then the fence line project, start weekly planning sessions with my husband. So we need to talk about it. My husband works a full-time job also, and we need to kind of determine what we're going to do ourselves and what we're going to resource out. So that's good. Then down here, I have garden decisions. Based on today's walk, I decided to add more plants around around the in the beds, in my raised beds. Also plant the lamb's ear around the red bud tree. Remember I told you earlier in the video that I had plans for the red bud tree. I'm going to actually plant some of my lamb's ear around there. My top 3 priorities are the raised bed cleanup, pruning throughout the front yard, and cut back in the containers. Shopping list. I probably need to put on my shopping list for more reed screen to put down the rest of that fence line. And the joy, my front yard is my joy, and my hydrangeas are doing fabulous. And I have looking ahead, the backyard fence line project, which we're working on. So this keeps me very well organized. So what I will do once I update everything there, then at night, I come on here and I have my daily clipboard. So my daily clipboard it has notes here, things that I wrote from my garden walk. I'll put it on here, and I just put mainly big words. I don't try to write a whole lot. Must do, backyard pickup, need to clean that up. Read screen. This was from last week. I haven't done anything this week. Hydrangea and roses, cut back, different things like that. So I do this on a daily basis. I just tell myself what I did today. I'm a big journaler, so I journal already. So this is nothing to add to my plate. And this is pretty much how I keep it. I have a lot of checklists and notes and things that I keep in here. And I just use it for whatever, but I don't just use my Remarkable for my garden. I use my Remarkable for bills. I use my Remarkable for my daily journal, my affirmations. I use it for projects that I'm working on at work. I work on different projects. So for every project, I have a folder and a notebook for every folder in here. And everything is so well organized. And this keeps me focused. You say, well, you can do it on the phone, you can do it on the iPad, but I get distracted very easily on my iPad, my phone, my laptop. But it really keeps me focused, and it really keeps me together. And because I can't get out in the garden like I had been in the past because of my lupus, this helps me to remember what needs to be done, because there are some days that I don't feel like going out, that I may be having a flare up and I can't get out for a whole week or so. So this really helps keep me organized and together. And I hope that today's garden walk was really helpful to you. If it was helpful and you would like to see more about my Remarkable, about anything that I talked about today, leave a comment and I'll plan it out and I'll show you if you want to hear more about the Remarkable. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.